Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Z. I'm a clinical psychologist specializing in transgender care. Welcome to my channel. So today I want to share with you one of the things that you can do that can help you break the cycle that you find yourself in. So if you're watching this and if you find yourself in any kind of cycle, whether it is a cycle of fear, afraid of coming out or afraid of transitioning, whether it is a cycle of self-doubt and not being sure or being certain, whether it is a cycle of trying to move forward in your life, whether it is a cycle of letting go of things that no longer serve you, wherever you find yourself in, whatever that cycle that is not helping you, that you tend to perpetuate, I want to share with you one of the ways you can look at it that can hopefully help you break away from that cycle. As usual, I really love metaphors. I love especially visual metaphors because they give us a different way of looking at the problems that we have at hand. And today I want to share with you one of such metaphors and how it can help you right now in your life. So let's look at the concept of pruning as a way of helping us break that cycle. So what is pruning? Well, if anybody ever gardens, if any of you ever gardens, and I tend to garden, my husband tends to garden, gardening is very actually therapeutic and very fun thing to engage in. But one of the things that my husband taught me is that in order for a plant or for a tree to be able to grow up and to be able to exert energy out of the sun into its roots and to be able to get nutrients that it needs and to be able to provide nutrients coming from the roots all the way up, to have a very fulfilling growth, to have a very healthy growth, well, what you need to do, you need to occasionally prune the tree or prune the plant. And what you do is you prune some branches. And by pruning the branches, even though those branches from the outside looks like they're very healthy branches, and a lot of times they are, but by pruning them, sometimes we have to do this painful job of pruning, of letting go something that's growing outwards in order to help the plant grow upwards. Well, I want to use the same metaphor of pruning when it comes to gender dysphoria, or when it comes to your sense of identity, or when it comes to you needing to take the first steps toward gender transition that you so badly want to take. I want you to look at your life right now, and I want you to visualize yourself as the tree. And if each branch represents some element right now that is holding you back, and maybe you have a branch that represents being afraid to come out. Maybe you have a branch that represents afraid you might lose your family, your loved ones. Maybe you have another branch that represents fear of accepting that you might be transgender, or another one that represents fear of going to see a medical doctor to discuss the medical needs that you need. Whatever it is for you, I want you to envision yourself as a tree. And each branch again represents some of the things that you find are holding you back and are keeping you in the cycle that you find yourself stuck in. And then I want you to label those branches as particular elements in your life that hold you back. And I want you to look at it and I want you to ask yourself, are all of the things, all of these branches, holding me back, weighting me down to the ground like a heavy, heavy weight, or are they helping me grow upwards? And most likely what you're going to find out, just like pruning, it's weighting you down. It's really not helping you reach towards the sun and get the nutrients you need, and not really helping to send healthy nutrients from your roots. And you really need to ask yourself, which of these branches can I start pruning back? Now, you don't have to prune the whole thing. You don't have to be so audacious and so extremely going out there and just prune the whole thing down. That might be a little bit too much for some of you. That might be overwhelming for some of you. Just the idea of thinking about it might be overwhelming. So if for you, the first step, maybe just identifying that you have those branches, that's great. That's a really big step you're taking right there. If for some of you, it might be very helpful to look at one element of that branch and ask yourself, can I prune this back? Can I be brave enough to prune this back? Can I give myself permission to prune this back in order to give myself the nutrients and the health I need? And if you can do that, That would be really great. And I think that would be a big step in the breaking cycle. And if you can prune more than one, do that too. So do whatever feels comfortable to you, but in the very least, See if you can identify what those branches are. That in of itself gonna help you break the cycle, because now you visually gonna see it. Now you shifted your internal gears. Now you shifted your internal ways of looking at your cycle a little bit differently, and you have a different picture. So do some pruning. I highly, highly recommend it. And comment below, let me know if you were able to identify what those branches are for you, if you were able to identify how they tend to weigh you down. Can you actually express to me in the comments how they weigh you down? Can you share with me if you were able to take first steps to prune something back? Do you see how it's holding you back? Do you see how it's not helping you as a tree to grow upwards and to be a very healthy, thriving tree? So comment below. I would love to hear your comments, and hopefully this concept of pruning is really helpful to you. I find it's really helpful to me in my life. Anytime I feel myself stuck in any kind of cycles, then hopefully it's very helpful to you. And I look forward to seeing you all next time. Bye guys.